guys play coming out. Can you just talk about getting that in that setting, and did you have any doubts about it?
No, I mean, the thing about it's tough. We went into the winning ball game, came up short. I think similar to the Alabama game, but different scenarios, situations. Those mental breakdowns in key spots, turning the ball over, key situations, to give yourself the best chance to win the game. When you work that hard in road environments against two really good teams, you can't have that type of error. It stretches and you come up short.
This is coming off a rough ball first. What do you see from that?
Rick's done a good job getting these guys to play hard. They do a couple different things. They man 2-3 zone, 1-3-1, pressure the ball, stuff that I know Rick's capable of. I knew he's going to do. But they'll play hard, they'll battle.
You coach with him at Purdue.
Yes.
What do you remember about him?
Rick's a good coach, very intelligent. He'll have his guys prepared to play. They'll compete and they'll play hard.
Does you guys employ some of the same philosophies from there? I mean, similar in that respect?
Yes, motion offensive style. Man defense, but I think he's put a little 1-3-1, a little 2-3 zone, and mix it up a little bit.
Coach, besides Jordan, you guys have had some trouble putting the ball in the basket and putting points on the board. Where can you find some other points on this team from?
Well, I think I think we're okay. It's just a matter of putting the ball in the basket. He's scoring a point. I don't know what as far as league play, who's leading and scoring, that sort of thing. But I mean, Jordan's done a good job of scoring basketball. But I think other guys have put themselves in position to knock them down. But I think for us, Trey Golden, Darnell Stokes, those guys have potential to be really good scorers. So now it's just a matter of putting them guys in position to be successful to score the ball.
What's Stokes' attitude been like the last couple of days coming out?
Oh, he's fine. He's one of those guys that has he's very even keel. He approaches practice in a humble way. He works hard. He competes. He'll be fine. You'll never know if he's faced by an atmosphere.
Jordan, I mean, what's the biggest, even before this kind of recent tear, what was the biggest difference you saw in him coming into this season versus?
Well, he always had the ability to score. I think the biggest thing that we talked about maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I said to him 2 or 3 weeks ago, you're a scorer, then be that. I don't know too many scores that leave games on a consistent basis with 6 or 7 shots. You're a scorer, you got to get 12, 15 shots up, get to the free throw line. Same thing I tell Trey Golden and Darnell Stokes. Those guys have the ability to score the ball. They have to get shots up.
And how's his defense coming along?
Jordan, not bad. Plenty of work to do, but not bad. I mean, the effort is certainly there, but I think for him, it's just really sitting down. Because of slight frame in some situations, ball fight through those ball screens, coming off pin down screen, they screen him. But he doesn't lack the effort at all.
Coach, I know you want Jarnell to be aggressive down there, and he obviously had some foul issues on Tuesday night. Just you've talked about that balance and being aggressive but not getting in foul trouble. Have you had to sort of discuss that with him again, or? Yeah,
we talk all the time. In the last 2 games, in my opinion, Alabama and Kentucky, I thought he was aggressive when he received the ball and making plays, which is good. I think in the Kentucky game, the fouls he had were more on the defense side of the ball, not necessarily aggressive, being offensive minded. So I thought some of those are bad fouls in my opinion on him. He shouldn't have did some of those things, but I like the fact that he was very aggressive in both of those games. So now we got to keep on forward that same aggression.
Do you sense? I mean, we talked to him last week at one point. He was having trouble juggling that. Do you sense he's in a bit of a sort of a state of mind of uncertainty, or do you want him? How do you overcome that? I guess.
I just think really for any player, if you consider slump or not getting the ball or going through situations, it's just having a good game more than anything. Because he's putting the time in, he puts the work in, he watches film, he studies. The biggest key more than anything, I think for him is going into games, knowing that I'll get a double team, but just being aggressive. Because what happens, he received that double team early throughout the season, guys scraping him up post the double team. So it's so hard to get into a flow when you see that all the time. So I think for him, it's just really accepting the fact that's the way it'll be and play from that.
Coach Gimme playing so well, I mean, do you look at giving him more minutes? And if you do, how important is it he comes down on the fouls with him? Especially like the moving picks, that kind of thing.
That's the biggest thing with him is his fouls. Now, don't get me wrong, he earns some of his fouls. Now, he gets his money's worth. But I think in some situations, I think he probably get 2 a game that he could do without. But he's one of those guys, he doesn't really have a problem with coming off the bench. Not that he accepts it. Like Jordan McCray has the mentality to be a starter. Jimmy McAdoo a little bit different from the standpoint. If he feel like that's what's best for the team, he come off the bench and fire with that. We talk about putting him in a starting lineup some situations, but who do you take out? Because he and Jarnell are very similar. So now that means one of those guys have to go on a 4-man that moves on the perimeter. That's a tough thing to do. So I think where he's at right now, he's fine with it.
Coach, I know you said there's no panic after the game, but do you sense going in this weekend with a home game, there's at least a sense of urgency with what needs to be?
There was always a sense of urgency, but I think there's a difference when you say urgent and panic. For us, it's not a panic mode. but the sense of urgency to try to get one to get back in the stride. I think you're right there. What happens in games when you're losing those games, tough situations, and you come back and watch film and you end up saying, even though you're playing against great opponents, it was all breakdown. And I think when you're coming away from games saying it was all breakdown, these are things we talk about all the time. When you correct these things, then you're able to move forward. And I think we're right there. Now it's just a matter of getting over the hump, getting that win, and moving forward.
The last couple of games, it seemed like the problems in the last 10 minutes of these guys making game-winning plays on the 11 or 2 for 13 to close the Kentucky game. You saw it last year, so how is that something that just returned to today?
Really just going through it. You have to go through it. I think the key for us offensively, you got to have Trey Golden playing at his best in game situations. Because what happens when you don't have a true point guard who's trying to execute offense and run certain plays to get guys situations, but you don't have your point out there, it's tough. But when you run the motion offenses for them, but in critical situations, late game, you got to have that ball, having that decision maker out there, that lead to get you in those positions. So that's why we got to have Trey Golden clicking all seconds.
Do you feel that Trey has